Hello and welcome to everyone joining the call on this special offer by Microsoft. How should you help migrate your customers from BREP to CSP? The offer that we believe no customer and no partner like yourself should miss. As you understand, the ones who have been with Microsoft for quite many years already know that Microsoft always is on the existing customer side. And whenever there is a new technology going out, Microsoft is always having something special for them. This is the offer of this kind. And of course, we will go deep into the details, and we have the discussion on what's in the offer, what the requirements, as well as I will introduce the panelists that we have on board and who are ready to share the experience and answer any question that you would have. But before we do that, let's put some ground rules first. Of course, we want you to be active. This is questions answers session, so we are looking forward for your active participation. If you have a question, if you have maybe a comment for us on where we need to improve, or if maybe you have some other topic in mind that you would like us to bring up, please use the chat button that you see on the right. And there are two options. If you have a particular question that you want the panelists to answer, please use the questions answers button. But if you want to say something publicly, to announce on where are you from, as we would love to say hi and to see how many partners and from where are they joining, use the chat button. Okay, and we are going to have a very simple agenda. First, I will give a quick overview on what is the offer, what is the requirements for you as the partner, for the customer, some basic facts. Then we will discuss some challenges. Are there any challenges? Is there anything that would be stopping you from using the offer or the customer from using the offer? Then we will introduce the steps that you as partner need to make sure are in place in order for your customer not to miss the campaign, because there is one downside of this campaign for sure. There are certain steps. If you miss it, that's it. No longer customer is eligible for the campaign. And later on, lastly, of course, we will invite you to ask the questions. Don't wait till the end. Please ask the question when you have it so you don't forget it. And then once we get to the end, we will try to answer the questions that you had. So with this, let me introduce the panelists that I'm very happy to have on board. First, we have Andres Tren, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Microsoft Central Eastern Europe. Hello, Andres.
Hi, hello, welcome everybody in the call.
I understand that you, Andres, can answer any question regarding the offer, as you are really on top of the campaign, right?
Yeah, hopefully. So we are in the middle of executing the campaign. So please feel free to ask. Hopefully we can answer all the questions.
Yes, looking forward to that. And then, as typically, we at One Click Factory want to show different angles, Microsoft point of view, partners' point of view, One Click Factory's perspective. This time, we invited Darius Zizys, representing a very successful partner company in Lithuania, Alna Business Solution, to share the partner view. As some of you might know, Business Central SaaS version in Lithuania has appeared only a month ago, October 1st. And Darius was one of the first to jump right on this. And as soon as Business Central was there in Lithuania, he has offered and he has his customers using the offer already. Darius, as I remember you mentioning on one of our calls, you said there's only one sad thing about this, that the Business Central SaaS version came to Lithuania only in October. Thus, not all of your customers could use the campaign. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you from so different countries. Yeah, actually, we were waiting for such good offer for our customers, and sadly that we jumped into the train so lately, and some of our customers, let's say, missed this opportunity, but we will focus on our existing customer to offer this invalidation period.
And I think that's one of the reasons of this call, that to help other partners understand the critical moments of the campaign and grab opportunity till we still have time, because we still have time and quite many customers can use the campaign yet.
Yes.
Okay, and then you have me, Inga Sartauskaitė. The ones who don't know me, I am a primary contact for all partners from Central Eastern Europe. So if you want to verify information, if you would like to understand how One Click Factory can help you understand all the details of various options Microsoft has or with various services we have, please go ahead and contact me. My job and role in the company is to support you and make sure that you are happy. Okay, so let's see what is the offer about. Some really very basic facts on what does this offer include. So as you might know, the offer, all the customers running on now, Business Central, GP, are eligible for the offer as long as they have an active BREP and as long as they act between the period of July and July next year. So Andres, here I would like to ask you of the origins of this campaign. As far as I know, in the beginning, Microsoft thought this as the response to the COVID situation. Microsoft thought it would be an ideal way to help partners to recover from the pandemic and to help their customers to recover from pandemic. But later on, it evaluated in much higher, much more perspectives. So what can you elaborate more on this?
Exactly. So it started as a really quick response to COVID situation, and so many questions came in from customers, partners, how to react short term on this really quickly evolving pandemic situation. And we started to position it as a short term answer and help for customers and partners to survive this situation. And actually, it's still a time-limited offer. That's why we are here and pushing the message. But it seems that it's more for a midterm, as we have options, as you can see the details later, for extending it. If you start this offer, you can extend it extra 2 years. And with that, it's really a midterm migration offer towards their customers. And as far as we see from the feedback from the partners, it's a kind of migration offer, and also a really good message for helping or long-term customers to move from the really old technology. So imagine you most probably also have NAV 2009 or even older customers sitting in their systems. And Microsoft, as you mentioned, was always generous and give all the possibilities and offers for the existing customers to move forward with the technology. And that's a kind of offer that Microsoft gives a lots of resources and possibilities to start experimenting with the cloud services, or even jump into it and go with the new technology.
Thank you, Andres. Darius, you had another perspective. You mentioned that this campaign is more as a safe playground, not only for customers, but for partners as well, to use the new technology and to start this new cooperation with customers. Can you elaborate on this safe playground that you can play with?
Yes, of course. We, Alma Business Solutions, are a typical Dynamics partner, and we actually worked with Microsoft just with Dynamics products, and cloud service platform was new for us. And yes, condition of this offer is very good playground to start a new environment together with customers. So actually we can try this new business opportunities in quite safe way, do not losing our experience in Dynamics business environment. And from other hand, again, all new technologies we need to explain to sell to our customers, and customers usually are asking a lot of questions and trying to be safe, starting something new. They need to be sure that in case of some problems they have rollback possibility and so on. So this opportunity, this offer is exactly safe place for both, for partners and for customers.
Okay, thank you. I think it would be interesting to see how other partners are looking at this opportunity and whether they have tried and offered this this offer to customers already. So let's do a quick poll just to understand on where are you at the moment and how we're doing. Let me check the poll. So the questions that we would like to ask you are very simple. Have you offered this proposal to your customers already? And if you haven't, please give us the reason of whether it is because you have never heard of this offer, or because the offer maybe sounds too complicated for you, or maybe you don't see benefits for your customer. And if you have presented the offer, that would be good for us to know. So let's see the result. Oh, that's nice. So it almost says, no, numbers are changing. So it was 70% who have presented, and now we have, so 44% of partners have presented the offer to customers already, and then 40% have never heard about it. That's quite a number, and I think it's good then that we have this conversation going on, and we are ready to explain all the details and why you as a partner should know about it, and your customers need to hear about it. So, okay, for those who would like to learn more on what is the details behind, let's look at the list of the benefits that customers are getting with the campaign. And Andres here, once we were reviewing the information and what the benefit sides, had a very good point. There are two moments to look at the campaign and what customer is getting out of that. So for customers who don't have the plans to migrate to cloud yet, this is an exclusive opportunity to spread the annual BREP payments into monthly payments. And then, of course, so they would be getting BREP benefits plus additional benefits. And for you as a partner, there is actually an increased partner margin once your customers apply and go for that offer. And then we have another set of customers who have real plans to migrate to cloud already. So for these customers, there are a bunch of additional benefits that go along with the campaign. First, they can get the Business Central licenses for way less costly price, up to 60% discount. Then they can request additional free users on the ratio of 1:4. They can get dual rights, so they can for a while, for 3 years actually, while they can use on-premise and cloud. The solution had this playground that Darius was talking about, they don't have to do it now. They don't have to migrate to cloud now. They can leave that decision once they are ready. And the good thing is that whenever they are ready, they will have licenses, Business Central cloud licenses in place already. So Andres, the question to you, did I miss anything? Do you see any other benefits that partners can get with that campaign?
Actually, you hit the point. So for the customers who are really just renewing their BREP, it has the similar services. So it includes CSP, it includes all the benefits that BREP covering. Moreover, there is an option in the next 2.5 years during this time that they most probably curious what's happening with the product, and they can experiment not just with the Business Central product as it is, but all the embedded solutions like embedded Power App, embedded Power Automate. So these new tools are really there, and they can experiment with that. And at the end of this period, they can decide even to go back to BREP. So without any extra risk, they can go back and stay on-prem and nothing's happened. Just they use the time frame to experiment with the new technology. For the customers who are really looking for innovation or innovative, or really looking at cloud as a next logical step, they can even immediate jump in and consume the technology without any cost. So this is really important. We are giving the same price point as the BREP, and with that, during this time frame, customers can really use the cloud as it is. So this is a zero extra cost opportunity for these customers.
Very safe playground, as that is called.
Yeah.
Darius, one of the main questions and top questions that I receive from partners who are addressing to One Click Factory, verifying the details is, so what is the business for me as the partner? Do I get more? Do I get less? And here, under the list of the benefits, I did point out that there's an increased partner business behind that. You as a partner, did you make any calculations and simulations? And was there, can you claim and confirm that there is actually partners are winning by offering their customers to move and use that campaign?
Oh, okay. I would say the biggest benefit from this, let's say, first transactions was that we learned ourselves to play in CSP world. That means that the main benefit was that we made such kind of transactions first time for our company. Again, it's because we are a traditional dynamic partner, and thanks for One Click Factory, we helped us to every step in this path and help us to understand, let's say, principles of CSP business. From money perspective, again, we are, let's say, we have the same margins, the same financial conditions, and we got the same benefits like customers. That means that we do not need to make this payments upfront for a year. We can split all incomes on monthly basis. On top of that, we started together with CSP program. We got Microsoft incentive program. That means that starting from this very first transactions, we are starting to benefit from rebates from Microsoft incentive programs. That means this even increasing our financial benefits from this offer.
So in general speaking, yes, you agree that there is business for partner, right?
Of course.
Okay, good. Now, again, Davila is telling me that we have a question. Let me just check. I don't see the question. Has the transition changed from 3.1 to 4.1 that Adam is asking? Adam, this is a very good question. It hasn't changed. Later on, we can discuss, and Andres can comment. In general speaking, it's 1 to 4, but it combines all the licenses. So 1 to 3 is the free one, because there's another one that you have to pay for. But we will get into details, and I can show you the detailed calculations later on. Andres, would you like to answer that question too?
No, that's very clear, and we can have the details later with the calculation.
Yeah, but so it hasn't changed. So it's the free 1 to 3, but overall it's 1 to 4. If you look at the complexity and total what customer gets is 1 to 4. Okay, another interesting area of questions and that always have is, so is there something that I should be looking for and to avoid? Is there something that is hidden in the agenda? And as far as we dived deep to understand, are there any hidden agendas? We couldn't really find none, except of this, that there's not enough, there's lack of noise on the market, not too many partners. And the survey that we have just did proves that partners are not aware, not all the partners are aware of that, and thus customers don't get the offers from partners. The offer is quite complex. And yes, we can confirm that there are details that you need to know, and there are details that are between the lines. We at One Click Factory have prepared guides to help you go through the process, as well as questions answers document. You can download some of the documents that we prepared in the handout session, and then the questions answers document will be sent out to the one joining the call after the session. So we are trying to help you understand the details, but overall, yes, the offer, as in many cases, this is true, is quite complex. And then lastly, the offer sounds too good to be true. And whenever we have a situation when someone sounds too good to be true, we kind of step back and think whether it's real. So Andras, do you find the same situation as we see, that overall it's terrific offer, but for some reason it isn't rolling out that fast as we could? And most likely once partners will catch up, we will be in July
Yeah,
when
actually,
the offer is
that's right.
over.
So it takes a little bit of time to catch up with the details, and as we see, partners are catching up and selling this offer. From customer perspective, it's really easy one. Please, Mr. Customer, please, this is your yearly maintenance fee called BREP or EP, and you will have the same amount on your invoice. If you will, it's a monthly. If you do not will, it can stay in a yearly bill. That's all. And with that, you will have some extra benefit beside the fact that you can still enjoy your existing version. Here you have extra cloud environment, and you can start even using it live or experimenting with that with no additional costs. That's really, really, really easy to understand. From partner perspective, it's not so complex. Of course, there are some complexity because we are changing the licensing mode from traditional DPR BREP licensing. You have to buy the CSP license elements, but that's why we have One Click Factory, so they can solve the operational burden here or help you to overcome this. There are some rules which are really important behind that. So we have to spend the same amount on CSP than the BREP. But behind that, it's not a rocket science. It's easy to consume. And of course, there are always exceptions or really exceptional customers where we have some special situations. But for all these questions, we have One Click and Microsoft behind you.
Yes. Darius, were there any concerns that you as partner was thinking of before suggesting your customers to move? What were these elements that tricked your attention, if there were any?
Yeah, first of all, I would advise for partners to start communication with customers, with potential customers sometime in advance, because you need to have time to answer all questions to the customer. And if you do not have business on CSP like us, you should have some time to go through procedures for the first time. It takes time for clarification. It takes time for different confirmation and so on to understand what to do next. And that's all. Actually, I don't know. Let's say start communication with customer 1 month in advance. It's more than enough. Just explain to the customer idea of offer. If it's first time for you to go through to a CSP channel, start communicating with One Click Factory. They will help you, and finalize with the documents, ending procedures in in Dynamics partner source, and that's all.
But other than that, there were no issues. You kind of realized that it's a good campaign. It's just the deadlines that are pushing and the fact that Business Central wasn't available.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so lastly, before we move to the questions that you might have, so what are these steps that we are saying that there are certain steps that you need not to miss and to make sure that they are there? So first, and I will explain why is this important. Please verify OneClickFactory as your indirect CSP provider. There are no commitments from your side, but we have developed a number of tools that we let our partners to download for free. And with these tools, you can be in 30 minutes ready to calculate and make proposal for your customer. So first, please verify OneClickFactory as your indirect provider. Then, and this was advice that we got from Darius once we got that first experience, go to the Microsoft Partner Source and filter your customers so that you see all these active customers with active BREP, and you could start talking with these customers already so that you make sure that you don't miss anyone from the list. And you need time for this, as Darius mentioned. 1 month is more than enough. Even if you don't have 1 month, we can manage you get through. But having these conversations earlier in the process would really help you. Then turn off the auto bill renewal function. This is important too, so that BREP doesn't renew on the time. As I mentioned, OneClickFactory has prepared the tools. One of the tools is detailed questions answer sections and documents that you will be able to download, as well as steps that you need not to miss. A bit more steps that I have here on one slide. And then the other document that we have prepared is the calculator. The calculator would enable you to simply add your customer's BREP number, the BREP amount, what he has at the moment. And as soon as in 10 minutes, you will be ready to understand how many CSP licenses you need to purchase for your customers. What is the business case for you as a partner? What is the business case for your customer, as the customer will be getting Business Central licenses for a discounted price. So it is good to understand of what is the comparison, how much he would be spending if he didn't jump on this offer and had to buy Business Central licenses for a standard price. And then lastly, of course, put an order on OneClickFactory CSP platform. Once you do that, you will have 60-day period to apply for free users for your customer. So again, this is last step that not to be missed, that you have to calculate on the other additional users that are eligible as part of the campaign and request for that. Andras, is there anything that I missed and that you would like to add as important steps to have in mind?
No, actually, this is it. Actually, calculate the number of users what should be acquired. This is the value of the BREP yearly contract, and pretty much that's all. And if your customers are already in, you have to have 2 additional years to discuss what will happen at the end of the contract. And this is important. The customer has the flexibility after the 1 + 2 years going back to the original BREP contract, if it's their policy or their intention, or they can jump into the new subscription and go with the cloud further on. There were some questions about what will happen after 3 years. So this is the 2 options: going back to BREP or using the actual available migration offer, which is valid for every other customers at that time point. So 3 years from now. At the moment, this is the from SA offer, and in 3 years we will have a similar migration offer, and that will be the second option for the customer who are going for the cloud version.
Thank you. Germantas has draw my attention to the fact that there is one more silent benefit to this campaign. If customer uses the campaign and activates the user, then he actually gets the right to get Power Platform user rights. So we don't talk about this loudly, but this is definitely something that we should start talking about. That once you get Business Central in place, then all the attached licenses can be in place too, and this is a huge benefit for many customers.
Indeed. So that's indeed a great benefit. If you are following your customer with the digital transformation journey, they most probably be looking for example, sales or customer service products. And in that case, you can use the so-called attached licensing for these users, which is obviously really great because we are discounting it really heavily. So it's a huge benefit beside the fact that they can experiment with the Business Central platform. They can moreover use the attached licensing for their additional Dynamics needs.
Yes. Okay, and with this, we are starting the, I am gone. We are starting the questions answer session. Please, dear partners, was everything clear, or are there any questions that we should cover? Let me just check the chat. Okay. Okay, so One Click Factory team also would like you to invite you to join CE partner community on LinkedIn. Yes, if you haven't joined, please join One Click Factory CE community. We are posting the campaigns and offers there too. And also, well, Andres, what do you see? Maybe we can cover the top questions that typically partners have for this campaign.
Yeah, so most of the questions are coming from what's happening with my partner margin. It depends on your reseller agreement with OneClick or your indirect reseller, but it's pretty much the same. So we can say that actually from a financial perspective, this is pretty much the same. The main difference is on the monthly payment, what you have to pay for the licensing. On the other hand, you can offer both the monthly payment for your customer, or even keep the yearly maintenance fee. So it could be also beneficial for you from cash flow point of view. This was the biggest question from partners. From operational point of view, it could be a little bit tricky in the first time for CSP if you're not familiar with the CSP, because this is a different platform. But that's all, and that's why we have OneClick here, who's really here to help you to overcome this. But this is really a best time to start CSP if you did not start it, because you most probably know that Azure, Office 365, and other dynamic solutions are really sold through this licensing. So it's really a great opportunity to start with the operational thing here. So this is also not a big issue. It's a different. You have to know, and with the first transactions, you will be supported, and it's really easy to start.
Agnes had the question I see on the chat on the questions answers that what happens after 3 years? Will the discount that there is from SA program now be applied 40%?
So at the moment, this is 40%. Microsoft will offer the standard migration offer for these customers also, which will be available at that time. So this is at the moment from SA, which is 40%. That's the promise from Microsoft. So we will offer also the available migration pricing for that customers. As we are saying now that the customers who are using the CSP EP will have all the BREP benefits. So the BREP is included in this package.
Then Thomas is asking, would you please explain the additional users for Zero in more details? Could you show some calculation in the document, page 5? it's quite confusing. So Thomas, as I mentioned, yes, let's have a call. We have a detailed calculator that we can let you have, and with that calculator, very easily you can calculate how many users can you get with the campaign for the BREP amount that you have, and then how many additional users can you request on top of the ones that goes with the campaign. So yes, there is a detailed calculations, and we can go through this calculator and see the details, and I can guide you how to understand the nuances of this offer. Then probably the question that I receive quite often from partners: is there a limit for customers, a limit number of BREP or licenses or whatsoever that they can apply?
Limit on what do you mean limit on?
Is now the information that we see is that the amount should be equal or more than BREP. So very often partners are asking, is there a minimum limit that you set up for the campaign, or is there no limit at all?
The minimum is the actual BREP contract value. From customer perspective, the PLP, the protected list price.
Okay, thank you.
That's the basis of this calculation. And going back to the question on the 1 to 4 or the extra free users, the main intention here is to compensate customers with a concurrent licensing going to named user licensing. And this is really a rare situation if a customer is using 1 to 4 ratio. It means, for example, they are using 3 shifts and they have special manufacturing facilities where they're using a lot more named user as concurrent. So Microsoft here is ready to offer these customers free users to cover their needs if they plan to go in a live environment in the cloud. So it's also part of the Microsoft story. As you know from the history, Microsoft is also generous with the customers who are already invested in the technology and they were ready to go for the next version. We offered always really great offers to transform.
Yeah, thank you. Then Lucia was asking whether the presentation will be available, and this question might be relevant for other partners as well. Yes, we are going to share the recording as well as the presentation after the session. So no problem with that. Grażyna asks what will be the prices for a customer after 3 years when the offer will end? The customer will have to pay a higher amount or not? So I think we a bit covered that, right? That they will have options and they can buy on the offers that Microsoft has in place for migration from on-prem to SaaS, right, Andres?
Yes, definitely. And let me form it a little bit different and try to find easy ways to understand the offer. The customers who are doing nothing, just using their old version further, it's just another BREP offer. So they can keep all the existing system, even they can buy new users for their on-prem existing version. This should be transacted through the old Dynamics price list. It's important. So if the customers keep using their existing version, nothing changing. They just acquire the BREP through CSP licensing, but they can use their existing system. They can even buy new users through their old Dynamics price list. That's really clear. Nothing changed. If the customer is really ready and start experimenting with the cloud, or even more, they are switched to cloud and the live system is Business Central Cloud, then they have the real benefits because they have free users up to 1 to 4 ratio to support their business growth. This is only for the live cloud version. So in CSP, you have the rights to use these free users in the cloud only. And of course, the embedded functions, like we mentioned, Power Apps, Power Automate, which is a great platform to automate and digitally transform their processes. Also embedded Power BI and so on. So this is a great value without any extra cost. So this is the real value. If you push your customers who are ready to consume cloud or utilize cloud, this is the real value. Without extra cost, they can start using the cloud. And after 3 years, they can go with the standard migration offer, which will be available at that time. Okay, so that's the real offer for these two types of customers.
Yeah. Milan is asking, does that mean that the client has the possibility to decide about migration by December 31st, 2023 latest, or what? So it's
you mean migration is deciding if
the campaign? I understand Milan has the question regarding the offer itself. Whether it is December 31st or whether the offer goes based on particular customer and when its BREP is getting to an end.
Actually, from a customer perspective, it's linked to their BREP renewal date. So that's why we are really urging the partners to communicate this, because we have a time limitation here. And at latest, this is 2021, end of June.
So meaning that now the customers can apply for the offer before
that time,
before the deadline, and then they can renew it for 2 years in a row after that. But if they miss the deadline this year, no longer will that be possible. So you're right. It's for So Milan, you're right. It's for 3 years, and we have to calculate when will this 3-year period will end for particular customer. But this customer has to apply now, not in a year after the year or so. So this is one of the downside of these offers. Then we have Thomas again is asking, what is the eligible employees leave for the company? Can I assign their licenses to newly coming employees? A very good question, Thomas.
So the standard CSP licensing apply here. So there is a definition for employees or internal users, and that applies here also. So if there is a new employee coming in, then there is a process how the named users can attach to new employees. But certainly yes, so you can use the system for new employees also. There are some details, as Inga mentioned. You can ask for the free users, for the free cloud users, only once in the first 60 days after your initial order. So you have to really calculate your needs, and you can ask for once for extra free users.
Milan wants to verify and double check it. That I understand, but I'm talking about decision on migration to the decision to migrate to cloud. Okay.
It depends on the customer. So the time span is up to the offering end. So it's 1 + 2 years for the customer. So they can decide even in the very last minute that they go for the cloud version, and it's independent. So they can decide later.
And they don't have to decide. If they don't like, they can go back to Prem and then use the SA.
Let's give an example here. So there is a customer who is just started to talk about cloud. You convince them to go for CSP EP, and from one year from now, nothing's changed. They just installed or just activated the Business Central Cloud for 2 users, and nothing's happened there. They renew this CSP EP next year, and they have this 2 years extra time frame to decide next one, and maybe they deciding after 1 year to go for the live system. You spend 6 months to migrate the customer, so we are in the middle of this 3 years time frame, 1.5 years, and they go live with the cloud version. They are really happy, but after 1 year something happened. There is a local, I don't know, regulation. They have to go back to on-prem. Okay, after 3 years, they go back to on-prem and change the BREP option at the end and go back to BREP, and nothing's happened. They just started to use cloud, and they decided not to use anymore and go back to the on-prem system. if they decided for the cloud version after 3 years, then they will not go back to the BREP for the fourth year, but they will keep the CSP licensing and go for the actual migration offer, which is now the CSP from SA offer. We don't know what is the definition or the exact discount or what will be the exact discount from 3 years from now, but this will be their offer through CSP to use the cloud version. So they can keep the cloud implementation and they use the actual discounted from SC SKUs for their licensing.
Milan, please give me your thumb up to understand whether that answers your question or more examples of verification needed. And then, Andres, another set of questions that I really receive quite often from partners is, so what happens? Well, typically the customer pays once for BREP once. Now you have these monthly payments. What happens if they stop paying these monthly payments?
It's important. Let me start with that we have a really detailed partner FAQ document for that. And actually, I'm also using this for this answer. So actually, Microsoft is checking monthly if the minimum purchase is requirement is met, and if it's not, because the customer is canceled or has canceled the CSP EP monthly payment, then the BREP is immediately applying, and they have to pay the BREP with all the consequences. I mean, we are invoicing it back to the initial date. So it's really important not to go back to this BREP because it could cause extra cost for the customers.
And the related question is what happens if my customer needs more additional on-premise licenses during these years? He hasn't migrated to cloud yet, but he needs additional users, which of course means that BREP amount increases. The question the partner says is, do I have to buy the additional CSP licenses instantly, or do I have to renew that amount once the BREP period is over? On the renewal stage.
Great question. I have to also double check this.
Okay.
I don't want to answer without a rock solid info on that, but it's a great question.
Okay.
We will get back to you with this.
Okay, so let me just check. Okay, I think I have. No, Milan says no. I will tell to the client, if you decide to enter CSP BREP, you have to you have the some period to decide if you will go to cloud or you go back on old way. I would like to tell the customer the exact day or some precise period of time.
So the CSP EP contract is for 1 year. It's similar for the BREP, but they have option for monthly payment. So this is also a 1 year contract, but with a monthly payment. That's the difference only.
Yes. So there is no.
You can have the exact dates where the customer has to decide on the next year, and this could be BREP or keep the CSP EP for 2 additional consecutive years.
Okay, and I think we have answered all the questions, and let's us have some summary. So, Andres, if you were to leave one last sentence or last thought, if you want the audience to leave the webinar with one thought, what would that be?
I would ask my salespeople why not position it for every or for customers who are eligible for this. This would be my question.
Okay. Darius, what is your take? What is something that you would like to recommend the audience to have as a thinking out?
Do not afraid of unknown path. Just start going and Of course, Microsoft and OneClick will help to answer all questions on the way. So keep customers updated and with the latest Microsoft technologies.
Thank you, Darius, for joining. Thank you, Andres, for joining.
You're welcome.
I think that the partners have really received some valuable information. From my side, I would just like to add that with every customer that misses the deadline, the customer is losing, you as the partner is losing, we, of course, are losing, all the market is losing. So no benefits here, just losses. So let's make sure that all the customers do hear about the campaign. And if you need more details, calculations, things to figure out, we at One Click Factory will help you. Please write to CEE@oneclickfactory.com and we will be ready and happy to support you. Thank you again for joining. Have a nice day and feel safe.